Om Asato ma Sadgamaya Tamaso ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amrutangamaya Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om. O Lord, please lead us from unreality to the reality, from ignorance to the knowledge, and from the immortality to the from the mortality to the immortality. Om, peace, peace, peace. Dear devotees, as we were all discussing about Ashtanga Yoga, the 8 limbs of yoga, among them we saw the Yama, Niyama, Asana, and Pranayama, and Pratyahara. And in the Pranayama, we discussed on Pranayama and Pratyahara. In the previous 2 classes, we had discussed many things. With respect to Pranayama, if you ask, why should we do these breathing exercises? Oh, that because it keeps a good health, physic. So our physical health will be nice. That is the reason we have to do it. Like lungs problem sometimes, allergy, sinus problem, and running nose who has got allergy towards cold, allergy towards dust, and many other things can be taken care. These type of physical diseases can be handled or can be cured, can be prevented by pranayama. We all know that. Apart from this, by doing pranayama, what happens? The supply of oxygen to the blood, to the different parts of the body, it gets better. The moment these things becomes, the supply of oxygen becomes more, the blood purification becomes better. This is second thing. And the one more function of the pranayama is control of the mind. When the mind is controlled, anything and everything is possible for a human body, for a human being. So the control of mind, to control of the mind, this pranayama helps to larger extent. These are the 3 things which generally we will be knowing by pranayama. But the Patanjali, in the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, the Patanjali Maharshi and the great sage Vyasa, when he has written a commentary on this pranayama, sutras on pranayama, he tells that by pranayama, why it has kept in Ashtanga Yoga, that is 8 limbs of yoga, is because by continuous proper practice of pranayama, the veil of ignorance has been thinned. Means the veil of ignorance which is covered our mind, which is covered our understanding, which is covering our consciousness, all these things will be thinned so that we'll be able to understand who am I. Or according to the Sankhya and Patanjali philosophy, the differentiation or the discrimination between Purusha and Prakriti, self and the Prakriti nature, will be achieved by pranayama. So by pranayama, the ignorance, the veil of ignorance will be thinned. That is a reason one has to practice pranayama. You see. And one more thing they say, there is no tapas, austerity, superior to pranayama. Why? Because it removes the impurities physically, mentally, and makes the light of knowledge shine, they say. So pranayama is not for only for because of good health, physical health. It is not because of we will have a good respiration system. No, not only that. The other 2 more important things, the spiritual benefits of pranayama is the veil of ignorance is thinned. The third, very important thing. And the fourth is it is very superior tapas. By that, impurities are removed or destroyed. This is what, as Veda Vyasa or Vyasa Maharshi in Patanjali Yoga Sutras commentary, his commentary, he mentions this. And in the Pratyahara, what is Pratyahara? We have seen in the previous class. From Pratyahara, that is controlling of the mind and senses, what happens? The supreme mastery or the supreme control over the senses is achieved. That means what? The mind becomes one pointed. And also, the commentators say the disinclination towards the sense objects is achieved. Detachment to the world and worldly objects are achieved from the pratyahara. That is very important. Because we are attached to the world and worldly objects, that is the reason we are unable to control our mind. We are unable to concentrate our mind on the desired object, maybe God or goddesses, or on the any desired object. If our mind is concentrated, then there is no problem at all. Concentration is the key to success. This has been told by Swami Vivekananda and all great people, isn't it? So that concentration is achieved by pratyahara. Means the mind stops its activities, and also the senses also will stop its activities going towards the sense objects. So supreme mastery over the senses is achieved by pratyahara. Once your supreme mastery over senses is achieved, means what? Your mind is also arrested, your mind is also under control, then your dharana and dhyana will be easy. And not only that, the loss of energy is minimized, and also unnecessary we have to struggle to control our mind and senses or whatever the feelings and the emotions, etc. All these things will come down, and positively, constructively, we can do many things. That is why pratyahara is very, very important. Means at one's will, his will, he can allow his mind or senses to go particular direction. If he doesn't wish, he can control his mind and senses. Now, say for an example, now some of you are listening my lecture, say online in the house. Suddenly, a good fragrance comes from kitchen. Immediately, your nose buds gets activated, and when the moment it smells, immediately your mind goes to kitchen, and you will lose what I am saying. You don't want to lose my talk. Oh, I want to listen this. What is this pratyahara pranayama uses Swami is telling? Let me listen. You are trying, and you don't want that your mind or senses should go to kitchen, but unfortunately, though you don't want, but your mind goes towards kitchen. Oh, what is happening? Like mother or any family member who is, I mean, what they are cooking, how it will be delicious. All these things of ideas will come, and our mind and senses are not under our control. Whereas when you practice pratyahara, your mind and your senses will be under your control. So you are the master of your mind and senses, whereas now we are all slaves for our mind and senses. As mind and sense they dictate, we are bound to listen. We are supposed to be masters of that, but unfortunately, we are the slaves under the mind and senses. Then, and also they say in pranayama, dharana sucha yogyata manasaha. Means in Patanjali, he says in the second chapter, 53rd sutra, the mind acquires fitness for dharana by pranayama. By doing pranayama, the mind acquires fitness for dharana, because it removes the restlessness of the mind. Mind is concentrated, mind becomes steadfast, mind becomes calm, quiet, all these things. And also, by pranayama, they say that it removes laziness, procrastination, whatever the tamo qualities, tamas we say, laziness, inertia, oh, let me do, interest, not interested in any work, always want to eat and sleep. Such type of all nature is controlled, is removed, is checked by pranayama also. Now, yama, niyama, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, over. So these are the five sadhanas, five limbs are called bahiranga sadhanani, means external instruments of yoga. So now the next three, dharana, dhyana, and samadhi, they are antaranga sadhana. They are internal instruments of yoga according to the Patanjali Maharshi. So what is this dharana? Dharana. Generally, if you ask what is dharana, they say when you try to fix your mind on desired object, that is called dharana. You are trying, maybe few seconds it will be there on your desired object, and in no time it goes away. Again, you pull your mind and try to fix your mind on the desired object. For a few seconds it will be there, and again it goes, it runs into the different places. Again, you bring it back. This is what the general idea, layman's idea we have got. To certain extent, it is true also. Now we shall see technically, in proper way, what is dharana. Deshabandhashchittasya dharana means dharana is the mind's fixation on a particular point in particular space. Why they are saying particular point or particular space? Because according to the Patanjali and Vyasa, there are external aids, the external regions, 5 external aids are accessories of yoga, which can be done. For example, navel, the navel portion of our body, the navel round, one can fix our mind, one can concentrate our mind and do the practice dharana. The other is lotus art, which we do in Ramakrishna Mission. I will come to it afterwards. Then Sahasrara, the effulgent center of the head. Then tip of the nose, Nasikagra we say, and the tip of the tongue, or any other external objects like mountain or river or a flower or sky, ocean, or any particular external object, any of these things. So either round navel round portion of the body, or the heart, or the head, that is sahasrara, or the tip of the nose, or the tip of the tongue, or any external objects. If we can use this object for our concentration, object of concentration. That is why it is called particular point and particular space. Space means here, these are the areas where we can use for practicing concentration. So according to the commentators, they say one dharana is equal to 12 pranayama. Means the time which you take for 12 pranayama, that much amount of time is called dharana. Say for an example, 12 seconds if you take it. So if you get 12 seconds, if your mind is concentrated on a particular object for 12 seconds, then you have got dharana, it seems. And if you got 12 dharana, say that is 144 seconds, then it is called dhyana. That means you have attained meditation, the concentration which we get in meditation. Then 144 into 12 if you get, then you have attained samadhi. Now imagine if you get 12 seconds, if your mind is concentrated on a particular object or desired object, you are achieved dharana, they are saying. Then we all say, oh, what are you doing? Oh, I am practicing meditation. I'm doing meditation. Why? I'm sitting with a crossed leg and closing my eyes and trying to do some process. We are all saying dhyana, but we are not actually doing dhyana. We are trying to practice dharana. If your mind is concentrated roughly at least for 12 seconds, then you have achieved dharana. Now imagine how much we are unconscious during our meditation. It keeps on going here and there. I mean, I'm not generalizing it, but in general, it is happening. We all feel that we are all dhyanis, we are yogis, we sit for meditation and our mind is concentrated and blah, 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 all these things, but it is not so. Even most of us, we have not achieved dharana itself, then what to speak of dhyana? So what happens in dharana? Here in dharana, the mind is trying to fix on particular object or on particular portion of the body. But when the mind is fixed on that particular object, either the mind or that particular sense organ is only active and rest of the sense organs are inactive or they are withdrawn. Say for an example, now you are concentrating on particular sound and a soft music has been put as a background and your mind is concentrating on that sound, external sound. So your hearing organ is only active and all other organs are inactive. So you are sitting in your room and you have put a soft music and you are concentrating on the soft music. Your ear organ is active. At the same time, there is some cooking in the kitchen and some good smell of the dish comes, but your nose will not be able to perceive it. Why? Because your nose organ will be inactive or it has withdrawn. Such a mastery will have. Let's say, for an example, you have kept a picture of Sri Ramakrishna or some prophet or a sage or incarnation, and you are trying to see that particular object and you are meditating. Or you are trying to practice dharana. So your eye organ is active, your eye organ is perceiving that particular object, whichever you are kept in outside in front of you as an external object, your eye organ is active, and someone knocks the door or someone calls, then you don't hear the sound. Why? Your Shravanendriya, the ear organ here, has withdrawn itself. So only your eye organ, at your will, only your eye organ is active. Such a mastery is achieved in this dharana. So in pranayama also we try to concentrate. Oh, we should try to concentrate on our breathing. We should feel that mindfulness. We should try to concentrate our breathing. So then that concentration pranayama, the concentration dharana, what is the difference? Someone may get a question. In pranayama, though we try to concentrate our mind on breathing, no doubt, it is only contemplative thinking, according to the commentators. It is bhavana or contemplative thinking. But in dharana, it is not. Though there is an extension of contemplative thinking or bhavana, we can say, in the dharana. Why? Because sort of lot amount of maturity and refinement has happened here. That is the reason the bhavana develops into the contemplative thinking, develops into dharana. Then slowly it becomes dhyana. And also the commentators or the Patanjali says, the beauty is in the olden days, concentrating the mind on the lotus heart of the body was a quite common for all the yogis. Then slowly after the Shat Chakra, whatever we say, 6 places of Kundalini awakening, I mean, inner energy and all, whatever we say, Kundalini Shakti, that and other external objects, meditating, all these things came into practice later days. So initially, the yogis used to meditate mainly, mostly in the lotus art, in the lotus center. Then some of them in between eyebrows or in the head, that is Sahasrara. So if you see in the Ramakrishna Math and Ramakrishna Mission or Ramakrishna order, even today, we are all advised by our teachers, by our gurus, to meditate in the lotus art. Make your lotus art as your spiritual center and try to concentrate your mind. That means what? It is in consonance with the oldest traditions. Sometimes when we get initiation, spiritual initiation, we all feel that, okay, these are all very simple steps. By this, can we get meditation? Can we achieve meditation, concentration, realization? Such type of questions, we do get it. Of course, there is no wrong in that. So here, the Patanjali and Vyasa Maharshi are saying that, confirming that, yes, practicing meditation or concentrating our mind in the lotus heart, lotus center is one of the oldest technique practiced by yogis. So whatever we have got from our gurus in our tradition, it is not simple. It is not simple imagination. It was out of experience, and it is a long established practice. That's what I want to say. And fixing the mind in the Patanjali, according to Patanjali and other commentators, fixing the mind is of 2 types. One is fixing on different objects. As we all know, tip of the nose, tip of the tongue, lotus heart, or the navel portion, or the external objects. All these things is one type. Generally, we have heard all these things. Then, according to the Sankhya and Patanjali Yoga, they say that fixing the mind and knowledge of the tattvas, they say. Sankyans and Patanjali yoga philosophy people initially, or in the olden days, they used to follow this type of dharana items, like what is Purusha and what is Prakriti. Prakriti has got 3 gunas. And what are the gunas? So meditating, trying to concentrate the mind on the knowledge of the tattvas were practiced by the Sankyans and the Patanjali yoga philosophy, the followers of Patanjali yoga philosophers. And we can see here very clearly in Sri Ramakrishna's life. Of course, he had a dhyana and samadhi and so. But when we hear such type of descriptions, we may feel that these things are possible even now? Yes. Why? Because in Sri Ramakrishna's case, we have seen his own experience in just 100, 125, 150 years before, we have heard all these things. What is that? Sri Ramakrishna used to sit for meditation, and his mind used to be absorbed in completely in that process, so that, I mean, the birds and used to come and sit on his head, and it used to play, or it used to sit for a long time, it seems. When the birds can come and sit, either you are very close and the birds have become very close. That's the one thing. Here it is not so. Sri Ramakrishna is not responding, is not communicating anything. That means birds have felt that there is an inert object, so we can sit and we can do whatever. So it is, we are safe. So that means what? And birds came and sat for a minute or two and they went, no. For a long time, the birds used to sit, it seems. That means what? Sri Ramakrishna used to engross in that particular object of meditation, used to get merged with that object of meditation. So he was unconscious about the senses, body, mind, external circumstances, external place, everything. Even the birds were able to come and sit on his head and they used to do its activities. So these are things, it is not hypothetical arguments. It is not mere speculations. Whenever one, whosoever practices these things properly, sincerely, yes, they can achieve it. Same thing we know all this famous story of Naren. Swami Vivekananda as a young boy, Naren. He went along with his friends for meditation play of meditation. We all play, do different types of plays, games we do. But Naren asked his friends, come, we'll have a play. We'll have a game. What game? Meditation game. And they all went to the first floor or second floor in a small room. They went, all of them, they sat, and Naren said, all of them, come, let us meditate. And all of them, they sat, and all young boys of probably 12 or 13 or 14 years of age, 2 or 3 minutes or 4 or 5 minutes, because of that childishness and of the restlessness of the mind. People used to, like, opening one eye and seeing others, whatever they are doing. When others are sitting, they are also trying to sit. So we can imagine very well. So after 5, 10, 15 minutes, might be over 5, 10 minutes, suddenly one fellow opens his eyes and he sees a black cobra is entering room. Oh, immediately you can understand what, imagine what would have happened. He immediately said, snake, 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 cobra, cobra, cobra. In no time, fraction of second, everyone were, without knowing, unconsciously, everyone were out from the room. And whereas Naren is sitting just like a rock. And they are shouting, Naren, Naren, Naren. He's not listening to him, listening to them. Then one of them, they went and they informed the parents. Parents came. Now cobra opening its hood and it is just seeing the Naren. And now parents are also fearing, because if they go out of fear or whatever, are angry, if the snake bites our son, so they are fearing, and Naren's mother is praying for God, oh Shiva, please bless my son so that let it not happen. She's praying for all the gods, and they were so much tensed. After some time, with whatever it may be, snake, without doing any harm to Naren, it went. Everyone entered the room. I mean, they rushed to the room and they called, they shouted, and then Naren's parents, they hold the body of the Naren and said, Naren, Naren, Naren. They shook him. Then slowly he opens his eyes. Then they said, why are you worried? What happened? They said, are you not aware? We were shouting. Naren said, no, I was not aware. I was enjoying the bliss. My mind was completely gone to that different realm. So this is what happens when dharana slips into dhyana. That's what I mean to tell. Even you see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna, life of Naren, or all the great people's life, if you see, their mind will be engrossed in that object of meditation. That's why they are not aware of the external circumstances, situations, people, sounds, nothing. So in dhyana, what happens? In dharana, the similar thought will be there, no doubt, for a regulated time. Say, for an example, 12 seconds. Afterwards, it may not be there. Similar thought will be there, but the succession will not be continuous. Just like, for an example, someone has not closed the tap of water properly. Someone has not closed the tap properly. So drops are falling. Like that we have observed. So continuously it will be flowing. But from one drop to another, there will be a fraction of second or millisecond difference is there. The same drop is not falling, drop after drop, drop after drop, drop after drop, it is falling, but it is continuous more or less. Now you are pouring in honey, you are pouring a ghee, melted ghee, of course, you are pouring the oil. Then what happens? It will be like continuous stream, a straight line, like there will be no cut. It is continuous flowing. So this is what dhyana. In dhyana, a single thought will be happening. There, the same thought may be new thought. X, Y, Z, like A1, A2, A3, A4, A5, A6, A7, A8, A10, A15, A20. But all of similar thoughts, since, so it looks like it is the same thought. It is a single thought. But generally in dhyana, that will be a single thought. Like every single dots, if it is intensely, if it is placed one after another, put one after another, it looks like a straight line. So that's what happens in dhyana. So taila dharavat, they say in dhyana, it will be a continuous stream, means a single stream without any interruption, it will be going on. So the continuous flow of similar mental modifications. The continuous flow of similar mental modifications is called meditation or dhyana. So you should know here also still modifications of the mind, modifications of the chitta is there in the dhyana. That modification is completely arrested only in samadhi. That's why yoga chitta vritti nirodha, cessation and mastery over the chitta or chitta vritti, that is only in samadhi. Here, tatra pratyekatanata dhyanam, they say. Here, pratyaya means knowledge. So, same idea, similar thought, or same thought, same idea, if it is going on, that is called dhyana. Or 12 cycles of dharana is called dhyana. Means the same object, same mental modification pertaining to the single object, the same object, if it is continuous, then that is called dhyana or meditation. Then in dhyana, what happens? Like, I am the meditator. I am meditating on the God. So it is the object of meditation. And there is a process of meditation. The meditator, the process of meditation, and the object of meditation. These three things are there generally. Okay, I am meditating, so I am trying to meditate myself on maybe Vishnu or Rama or Krishna, Ramakrishna or Jesus, whatever. So I'm trying to concentrate my mind on that. So, okay, single thought of Jesus is coming. Okay, I am meditating on Jesus. We are aware of it in generally, but in dhyana that gets merged. So in dhyana, what happens? The meditator, the action called meditation, and the object of meditation, all these three things will be only one thing, the object of meditation alone there. And this meditation also can be done in different types. There are different types of meditation. One standard is sakara dhyana, nirakara dhyana, trying to concentrate our mind on different forms, like different forms of God and God, different forms of gods and goddesses, sakara dhyana. Then other type of meditation is called nirakara dhyana. That is just meditating on the God without any form. What is the nature of God? The nature of God is Sat, existence, then Chit, the consciousness, and the bliss, Ananda. So, trying to meditate on the nature of the God, Nirakara Dhyana. There is a Nirakara Dhyana also. So, this is with the gods and goddesses. One is with form and without form. The other is trying to meditate on different objects, just like that sun, moon, or mountain, or flower, or ocean, any external objects. This is one type of meditation. The other is meditation on the concepts and ideas. I take some particular concept and trying to concentrate in my mind on the concept. It is also a type of meditation. See, this is very clearly we can see in the scientists. When their mind is concentrated so much on the particular idea, on that particular thought, on the particular concept, then only they will be able to discover, they'll be able to invent. This is very clearly. I mean, when Newton, when he sat under the apple tree, and apple fell on him, on his head, I mean, the story goes like that. He started thinking, why this apple fell on my head? It would have stayed there, it would have gone up here and there, hither and thither, but why did it fall? So that one idea, his mind caught it, and he started thinking, why? Slowly. He was able to discover, he was able to invent the gravitational force. So, on the concept or on the idea, his mind was completely concentrated. This is what concentration, I mean, try meditation on concept and idea. And we can see this type of meditations in Upanishads. They used to think that sky is a Brahman and they used to meditate. Anna means that is rice or the food is a Brahman and they used to meditate. Water as a Brahman or water as the Satchidananda, we say that is a water is a Brahman, saying that they used to meditate. There are different types of upasanas or meditations are available, at least established meditation techniques. 32 types vidyas are in the Upanishads. And some they used to meditate on Omkara, Om sound, and the sound syllable itself, because the whole world has come from that Akandaspotayana Vada. So, like this, there are different types of meditations. Then what is called samadhi? When the samadhi, tadevartha matra nirbhasam swarupa shunyas miva samadhi. When the object of meditation only shines forth in the mind, as though devoid of thought of even the self, that state is called samadhi. I told already, the meditator, the object of meditation, and the process of meditation, when all these things gets merged and only the object of meditation only alone shines or it alone exists, that is called samadhi. Say for an example, I am meditating. Okay, I am meditating on Jesus. So I'm feeling that I'm meditating on the Jesus, I'm trying to visualize the form of Jesus, and I'm conscious about the meditation process also. But slowly, this concentration becomes such a deeper, even I don't have the feeling of that I am meditating. Shantivratananda is meditating, no. Or the meditation process is happening, no. Only the thought of Jesus Christ alone exists. The thought of Sri Ramakrishna alone exists. The thought of Shiva alone exists. It only shines, no other thought, no the conscious of individual self or the process or any external things, nothing will be there. That state is called samadhi. When this dhyana is intensified, when all other things extinct and only the object of meditation alone shines, that is called samadhi. So in dhyana we will have that sense, whereas in the samadhi nothing, that is only the object of meditation alone shines. Samadhi is the highest state of meditation, we can say. So the 12 cycles of meditation, if it happens, then a person has attained samadhi, we can say. And we can see in the Sri Ramakrishna's life, he attained Nirvikalpa Samadhi in no time. Whereas his Guru Totapuri took for him 40 days, 40 years to attain that Nirvikalpa Samadhi. Whereas for Sri Ramakrishna, it was just 3 days, in 3 days, he was able to attain Nirvikalpa Samadhi. And here again, Sabija, Nirbija, Savitarka, Sampragnata, Asampragnata, like that, there are so many types of samadhis which are discussed in the Yoga Sutras. So when the mind is fully completed with the nature of object of meditation, only the object of meditation alone shines and nothing else, that is what the samadhi here. And again, all these things are do exist even this present day, or the people can experience. Yes, even we can see in the life of Sri Ramakrishna himself. So for 6 months he had stayed in the Rivikalpa Samadhi. There he says that I am meditating, or I am the meditator. Even that consciousness also will not be there. Only there will be just pure awareness, pure consciousness. Even I cannot explain while experiencing, I cannot explain. Only if my mind comes down, then only I can understand or I can explain based on the experience that Nirvikalpa Samadhi was sort of like this. So such thing is happened in Samadhi. So to attain this samadhi, the extension of, or the advancement of dhyana is what samadhi. So to attain this samadhi, the yoga has been told by Patanjali. That's why yoga chitta vritti nirodha. Yoga means what? vritti nirodha. Chitta vritti nirodha happens with what? You will attain the samadhi. Again, there are different types of samadhi I told. So yoga is not meant for our physical health, not only for physical health or for mental health or for pranayama or for controlling breath, to check the diseases, to prevent the diseases. No, instead of that, to attain the self-realization, to attain the emancipation, to attain the realization of oneself. Who am I? According to the Sankhya and Patanjali, is called self is called Purusha. So to attain that state, the yoga, the Patanjali Yoga Sutra, Patanjali has written the Yoga Sutras in form of aphorisms for the seeker, so that he or she can practice and attain the samadhi. That we should be very clear. But unfortunately, in these days, though people are saying that we are all practicing yoga, they are confined the use of the connotation and denotation or the meaning of the yoga just for mere physical exercises, or at the most for little pranayama. That's all. Oh, why I go to yoga classes. Oh, he's a great yogi. He does daily yoga. What he does? He does physical exercises, or at the most little pranayama, or some breathing techniques, or some a small meditation, and he or she feels that he or she is a greatest yogi or greater yogi. That is one of the very simple preliminary meaning of the yoga. The yoga doesn't stand any of these things. Yoga was meant for self emancipation, whatever the Buddha said, nirvana or moksha or mukti or kaivalya, whatever we say. For that, the yoga, the path of yoga has been given in India 2500 BC. That's what I'm saying. So it is one of the oldest philosophical school of the Indian philosophy, and that was meant for emancipation. And the same ideas we can see very clearly in the Bhagavad Gita also. For example, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga means discrimination between Kshetra and the Kshetrajna. Kshetra is what? Body. Kshetrajna is the resider, that is self or the Atman or the Purusha. So you discriminate yourself between the body and the self, not the Atman or Purusha. Try to understand that you are Purusha, you are not the body mind. So in Aprakshana Bhuti and Tattva Bodha, we have discussed these things in detail. And similarly, same ideas can be seen in different Upanishads also. That's why practicing a witness, Sakshi Bhava, we say. By doing all these things, what happens? You will try to understand who are you in reality. By the moment I understand, what will happen? I will get emancipation. So here, in the Vedanta or in some parts of spiritual practices, some parts, there's a merge. The individual self merges with the supreme self. Jivatma merging with the Paramatma. That is what yoga. But whereas according to Sankhya and Patanjali yoga, the yoga is differentiation, discrimination, separation. So here the word yoga, the meaning of the yoga is meant for separation. What should we separate? Whom to separate? What to separate? The separation of Purusha and Prakriti. For that, the Ashtanga yoga is the spiritual method, the path of spiritual sadhana. Path of spiritual practice is given by one of that. Otherwise, the shortcut method is Kriya Yoga. Otherwise, for the advanced people, Abhyasa and Vairagya. In my first class itself, I had told all these things. So separation, what? The Purusha has to separate from Prakriti. But unfortunately, because of ignorance, the Purusha has identified himself with the Prakriti. Prakriti is this world and worldly objects, with the body and mind complex, with the thoughts, with the emotions, with the senses, sense objects, with our achievements, whatever today, every day we feel that. So we have misidentified ourselves with this Prakriti. Prakriti means the whole world, including our body, mind, complex thoughts. Everything comes in this Prakriti. So we have misidentified ourselves with this Prakriti. As a result, we are suffering. As a result, we are taking birth again and again. We are struggling and we are suffering and we are experiencing different things. The moment when I understand this and the moment I discriminate and differentiate myself, I keep myself separate from the Prakriti, then what happens? Then I will have no more birth and death. I will be realized person. But there, here, the Ananda, like unlike Vedanta, they never say that that is your nature. Instead of that, once you get a moksha or mukti or kaivalya, then you will get that ananda. They say that. But it is not your permanent nature according to the Vedanta, whatever they say, like Sankhya, they never say that. But that Punarjanma is not there. The moment you understand who are you, that is your Purusha. Purusha means it is not masculine gender. Here, Purusha means it is a neutral gender in the sense of self or Atman, it is told. And when you attain Samadhi, this question may come for some people. Okay, Swamiji, we attain Samadhi, but we would like to stay, probably to help the people or to just witness the world. That's also a beautiful experience. Can we stay back? Such type of questions many people do ask. Then Patanjali himself says that yes, after attaining Samadhi, if someone wishes to stay back and if someone wishes to see this world or etc., there it is possible. One is they can take birth again if they wish so, and they can, as a witness, they can do all these things. Otherwise, in a subtle way, they can merge themselves with this called Prakritilaya Purushas or Adhikarika Purushas. Themselves, they can be merged with these elements, Panchabhutas, and they can enjoy this world in a positive way, in a blissful form for a long time, at the till the end of creation, they say. So they are called Adhikarika Purushas or Prakritilaya Purushas. Again, there are technical definitions for all these things. So such advancement of scientific techniques, such advancement of yogic practices were given thousands of years before in India by yogis in their Sankhya philosophy, or Patanjali, in the yoga philosophy, or in the Indian philosophy. That was such a rational, such a, optimistic, and such a fine tuning. All these things were possible because of their dedication, commitment towards spirituality, and for the self-realization, or today the psychology says self-actualization. The moment I understand who am I, understanding the strength and weakness, the psychology says. So all these things are possible even today. We should only, concentrate our mind, and we should practice all these things as the yogis, the sages have told, then these things are possible. Probably in the next class, let me try to discuss different types of meditation, how one can practice. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Shri Rama Krishna Arpanamastu.